All right, let's just get right into it because this is a topic I get asked about constantly in the steak and butter gang community. It's one of my absolute favorite things to talk about, and honestly, it's something that literally every single carnivore deals with. This subject often gets swept under the rug. We're talking about poop. What happens when you go carnivore? Why does it change so much? Is it normal to go 3 times a day? And for some of you out there, is it normal to go only once a week? Like me. Let's unpack all of this, and by the end of this video, you'll know 3 easy steps that are guaranteed to optimize digestion and poop on a carnivore diet. So let's go to the bathroom. There's one surprising side effect of carnivore that nobody prepares you for: loose stools. There's usually a transition phase as your body adjusts to not having all of that useless plant fiber clogging up the pipes. So the question that everyone wants answered is whether this is bad or harmful. Does it mean you're not absorbing the nutrients? And how do we make it stop? The first thing you should know is that occasional diarrhea during the adjustment period isn't harmful. It's simply your gut adapting to a new diet. Here's why it happens. Fewer plants and carbs mean less bulk and less fiber, which will speed up digestion and cause looser stool. But as your body gets used to higher fat and protein intake, your digestion usually stabilizes, and those bathroom trips become less and less frequent, as well as less runny. Also important is that some people don't make enough bile at first to handle a high-fat carnivore diet. Bile is a fluid your liver makes to help break down fats so your body can absorb them properly. When you're just starting out, your body might not produce enough bile right away, which is why fats can go straight through you. But it's all about giving your system time to catch up and start digesting fats effectively. Our bodies are incredibly smart and resilient, and within a short period of time, your liver will begin making more than enough bile to take care of this new influx of animal fats. If you have liver issues or gallbladder problems and need some extra support, or maybe it's already been a few months and you're still dealing with loose stools, some experts do recommend using a supplement called ox bile or lipase in those early days of adjusting. This not only helps with the toilet issues, but it can also help your body digest the fats and absorb the fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin A, D, E, and K. For most of you though, the next 3 super simple steps will help your body adjust faster and start producing enough bile to properly digest fats. The first thing you're going to want to do, or possibly undo, is scaling your fat intake so that your body is only getting as much as it can handle. If you've been loading up on large amounts of fatty cuts like ribeye or tallow right from the start, and you're having constant loose stools that don't seem to improve, ask yourself why. Most of you transitioning to carnivore from a standard American diet might be doubling, tripling, or even quadrupling the amount of healthy fat you're eating. And that's just a recipe for explosive diarrhea, unless you learn to slow down. There's a couple ways to do this. The first way is to eat leaner cuts for a period of time. Fat is extremely important, but it's okay to pull back on the fat intake temporarily to give your bowels a break. If ribeyes are causing diarrhea, try switching it out for flank or strip steak. If you're having 80-20 ground beef, try going to your local butcher and requesting for 85-15 or even 90-10 fat to protein. So you can reduce your overall fat intake by 5 to 10% until your stools start to normalize. And then you can slowly add back 5 to 10% more fat 2 weeks later. Another trick that works really well for a lot of my steak and butter gang members is to just try eating smaller meals more frequently every few hours. This gives your liver a smaller job to tackle each time and ample time to recover. It's time to talk about the golden rule for perfect carnivore poops, and that's to avoid rendered or liquid fats. And I'm talking about the golden bubbly fat that pools in your pan after you cook fatty meat. It's Mother Nature's superfood, but don't drink it, because if you do, Mother Nature will be in the toilet a few short hours later. It is tempting, but it's a mistake because the temperature of your food absolutely matters. When fat molecules are heated, they break apart and move much more quickly, which can put extra stress on your liver and bile to break down and process them effectively. Heated fats tend to become more liquid and less stable, making it harder for your body to digest them smoothly, especially if your bile production isn't fully up to speed. Don't even pour that beautiful, flavorful liquid over your steak. Instead, pour it into a glass container, let it solidify, try to use as your ultimate carnivore cooking oil, or even a fat snack when you're better adapted down the line. To take it a step further, I do recommend applying the same principle to all your meats. So this means letting your meal and your fatty meats cool off to room temperature before even eating it, or better yet, refrigerating it for a while and enjoying overnight short ribs or ground beef cookies. This is one of my best kept secrets for smooth digestion, and honestly why I never have diarrhea anymore. And on top of that, something about the texture is just so delicious and flavorful. So I know you didn't sign up for a thermodynamic lesson, but let me tell you, it really does matter. If you've already tried my favorite methods of swapping out liquid fats for solid fats and you're still struggling, one of the most important factors to address is hydration. Because drinking enough water helps dilute bile and digestive juices, this makes it easier for your body to process fats and proteins efficiently. Proper hydration also supports bile production. So if you're new or still adapting to a carnivore diet and the proof is in your toilet, consider using the salt trick, which is simply salting your meals heavier than usual, or incorporating a high-quality electrolyte supplement in your water. A lot of you aren't just dealing with adaptation symptoms like diarrhea, but also headaches, muscle cramping, maybe some lower energy than usual. Even seasoned carnivores will experience these symptoms as a result of an electrolyte imbalance. Relying on a high-quality electrolyte supplement could really do the trick. This is the one that I recommend. It's from the brand Element, this teal colored box labeled raw unflavored. This one has no stevia, no flavorings. It's literally just the 3 electrolytes our body needs: sodium, potassium, and magnesium, measured out in the right quantities. Here's what the little packets look like. They're super travel friendly. You just rip one open, pour in whatever you're drinking, mix it up, drink it down, and you're good to go. You all can get a free sample pack with any purchase if you go to the URL shown on the screen, drinklmnt.com/SBGAL. I've also linked them down below. I know what you're thinking. What if I'm having the opposite issue and I only poop once or twice a week on a carnivore diet? Even though it is way less common than diarrhea, it's not unusual to get constipated on a carnivore diet. But here's the thing. I've been pooping once a week for years now, and I can tell you honestly that I am not constipated whatsoever. Similarly, many people I know say they're constipated on carnivore, but they're actually not. Let me explain what I mean when I say chances are you're not actually constipated. When we're eating meat, our body is using about 98% of what we put in our mouths. So that leaves about 2% to come out the other end. Carnivores just have less poop than people who eat any amount of plant material. Fiber is basically just another word for stuff that's there for no reason. There's no nutrition in it. And while the plant lovers will tell you it is necessary in order to poop, carnivores absolutely prove them wrong. Fiber just adds bulk and bloat, and nobody knows this better than me. I remember in my vegan days, I would poop anywhere from 3 to 4 times a day. And it wasn't just a few weeks, like the early days of carnivore. I dealt with that for all 6 years of my vegan experience. This came along with my Buddha belly bloat, awful gas, and a constant feeling of being ravenously hungry, no matter how much I ate. If you're not convinced, here's how you can tell the difference. Here on the screen right now, you can see the Bristol stool chart. If you are in type 1 or type 2, you're constipated. Type 3 through 5 are normal, and type 6 and 7 are diarrhea. Notice that there's nothing here regarding frequency. That's because it's different for every single person. Carnivores like me only go once a week, while others go every day. If you're having pain and haven't pooped in a while, and you know it's trying to make its way to the exit, but just won't come out, that is real constipation. So tune into your body, because only you know if you're actually constipated or not. To those of you in this category, I want you to do the exact opposite of the tips I gave for diarrhea, using that liquid gold rendered fat as your laxative, because hot rendered fats will be your best friend to get things moving along. Eat as much as your heart desires, monitor any changes. If getting this much fat is nauseating, you can also try a salt flush or even a magnesium citrate supplement as a natural laxative. Everything that I recommended will be linked down below in the description box, of course. And the one unique tip I want to add here is that cheese can actually be a culprit when you're feeling constipated. Yes, even though it's a great, convenient food for us carnivores, it's pretty dense with calcium, which will make your stools drier and tougher to pass. So cutting back a little bit on the cheese could help normalize your stools and help things moving along. If there's anything for you to take away from today's video, it's that carnivore digestion is wildly different from any other diet. And that's a good thing. Here in carnivore land, diarrhea is but a speed bump and less is more. It's probably not constipation, it's efficiency. So don't panic if your bathroom habits have changed. Trust the process. Use fats as medicine, and most importantly, don't let anyone tell you that daily fiber-filled poops are the gold standard of health. I'd definitely like to know how frequently you poop a week. I'll see you in my next video. SBG out.